First of all, I'd like to thank the MSU Hall of Fame Committee for inviting me to accept this prestigious award for Shirley Cook and speak on her behalf. My name is Sally, a friend of Shirley's since our time working together in the Women's Varsity Alumni Club Board 25 years ago in 1982. It is an honor and a privilege to be here this morning in her memory. Shirley would be grinning from ear to ear today. She probably is watching over us, knowing that she stands beside Dean Look, her favorite MSU quarterback of all time, Grady, George Perlis, and Scott Skiles, to name a few. Shirley Cook is not a name that many would recognize, but for those students, teammates, athletes, and soulmates that had the incredible opportunity of knowing and interacting with Shirley, we know this induction is well-deserved and fitting. Shirley was one of those tomboys in the 1950s, one of those girls who would rather be on the playground or out on the athletic fields playing with the boys, whatever the season may be. When she arrived at Michigan State, she continued her love of sports and followed her athletic talents by devoting time not only to her studies in the College of Education, but also by turning her energy and enthusiasm to the field hockey field, the basketball court, and the track, where she excelled in hurdles and the javelin throw. As one of her former students, protege, and close friend, Jane Medow, who celebrates with us today, described Shirley's athletic abilities. She was a bulldog on the field hockey field. To see her glide across left field to catch a towering fly ball was poetic. To see her gallop down the track and leap over the hurdle was artful. But most of all, she enjoyed the sheer delight of shooting hoops. Now, some of you may remember in the olden days, the 50s and 60s, girls were considered too fragile to play full-court basketball and were required to play with 2 forwards, 2 guards, limited to half court only. And there was one rover who could run full court. Our Shirley was, of course, always the rover. As one of Michigan State's pioneer women athletes, she enjoyed the intensity of sport, pushing herself to the limit, striving for common goals, and understanding the importance of teamwork. Shirley earned 2 degrees from MSU, an undergraduate in physical education and a master's degree in counseling. She carried her ideals into her teaching, and as you could suspect, Shirley was a favorite teacher, instilling importance of health and fitness. She engaged her students in fun and active pursuits and challenged them to push their limits and try new activities. With boundless energy, she coached girls basketball and softball, boys baseball, advised the synchronized swimming team, and sponsored the Girls Athletic Association, just to name a few. All of this was in addition to being an #1 Michigan State Spartan fan. She had season tickets to most of the men's sports and promoted women's sports across the board as well. Shirley was instrumental in founding the MSU Women's Varsity Alumni Club, where she served on the original board of directors. She also served for many years on the board of Women's Sports Booster Club. In 1985, Shirley was awarded the MSU D.J. Parker Award for her leadership, teaching, coaching, and development of women's athletics. And she was also the first recipient of the Nell Jackson Outstanding Alumna Award in 1988. Shirley died on December 16th, 1988, after a long, spirited battle with breast cancer. But even upon her death, Shirley's devotion to Michigan State's educational and sports achievements continue with the establishment in 1991 of the Shirley Cook Endowment with the specific purpose of providing professional enhancement and scholarship opportunities for women athletes at MSU. Shirley's estate gifted the largest single gift to Spartan women's athletic. In 1991, over $138,000 has been awarded to benefit women athletes and coaches in pursuing their educational goals. Her commitment to students, to education, and to sport will forever benefit Michigan State University. Shirley would be thrilled and humbled with this recognition. Those of us who knew and loved her understand her deep commitment and love for MSU. We miss her laughter, vitality, strength, leadership, and that fighting Spartan spirit. And we thank the Hall of Fame Committee for also recognizing this devotion. She is a hard act to follow, but gives us all the challenge, as Shirley so magnanimously demonstrated, to make a difference by giving something back to this community, which has given us some very unique and special opportunities. As her friend Jane explains, she didn't wear a specific number on her back, on the back of her jersey, but if she did, it would be number 1. And just to add a little footnote, I would not be at all surprised if Shirley didn't have just a little something to do with that Wolverine missed field goal last Saturday. Thanks so much. Go Green.